Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monday evening call. This is about how to gather customers. And the first thing we want to do is we want to let everybody know that these are presentations made by independent NICN distributors and are not made by NICN, the company. So what we try to do here is we try to give people tips on getting started and building your team. And we want to bring people on that's doing some things that are working so that they can share with the group, and we want to be able to help folks to learn from others. So, excuse me. And whoops, that's not supposed to be there. What we want to do is we want to, of course, always build our list. This is so important. You can't say it enough. I know we say it every time on the call, but this is so important. You should have multiple lists, I believe. I know it used to be that you only needed one list, but I think today you've got a warm market list. You've got an online list. You've got a list of people that are potential customers. You've got a list of people that are potential business builders. And off this list, you always want to be asking for referrals. You want to join different groups or special interest groups to expand the number of people you get to meet. I know I was listening to a YouTube video this week, and the guy on there was talking about network marketing, and he made the comment, what other job is there out there to where your main function is just going out and making new friends? So if you look at it like that, where you go out and you strike up conversations and you listen to the other person, you become friendly with those people, and then you see opportunities as they arise. People will tell you what their issues are and what they need to help with, and then offer NICN as a solution when it's there. I always like to give a weekly online tip, and I thought long and hard about this, and people are always asking me about pay-per-click, and people believe pay-per-click just has to do with Google, but calling Google pay-per-click is pay-per-click is like an animal. Like you say, I got a dog, but there are thousands of different kinds of dogs. Well, there are thousands of different kinds of pay-per-click. There's Google, there's Bing, there's Yahoo, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's Plenty of Fish. There's all these different places that you can put up your advertising, and then you pay for the click. That's what PPC means, pay-per-click. In other words, you put up an ad, and then if someone sees that ad and clicks on it, you have to pay. It can be as little as 5 cents, or, you can go up and you can pay as much as a few dollars for a click, depending on where you put the ad. And what I like to tell people is if you've decided that you want to go and you want to do some pay-per-click, you want to do some online advertising, look for discount codes. I pulled these up this morning. This, of course, particularly has to do with Google. I'm doing some Google ads right now that I think have great potential. They're called display image ads in Google. And it's actually where you build a display ad. You choose the website that you want that display ad to show, and then every time someone clicks on that image, then you have to pay for that click. What these are Google AdWords promotion codes. And for instance, here's one where you can buy it for 99 cents. And you get $100 in free advertising when you spend $25. So you get to play with some house money, you get to play with some free money, and other pay-per-clicks, you can find something like this similar on the others. I just chose Google because I knew they were on eBay. These came off eBay. And everybody that we get involved, especially if it's in Google, we send them to eBay and we say, hey, spend that 99 cents. You'll occasionally find one that'll say spend $100 and get $300 free. I know when I started a few years ago with some Google pay-per-click, that's what I did. I got $300 free. But I always look for those discount codes so that you can save some money, and especially when you're first getting started. I hope to put together a video soon on Google display image ads, but that's for another day. What we want to do is, of course, I've thought about this before. This is a list that comes out, and I know the February list just came out. And you'll see, a lot of times you'll see the same people's names on these lists over and over and over again. And we have someone on the phone today. We couldn't get her video to work today, but still we'd like to pick her brain a little bit. And that's Esther Smith. And if you've looked at these for these lists, you could have looked at these lists for the last 2 or 3 years, and you would find Esther's name on these lists. So, Esther, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. Good.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, we hate that we're not getting to see your pretty face today, but, I'm sure you can impart some words of wisdom so that you can let us know some ways that you've made these lists so often. Can you tell us how you got involved with NECAN first and how long it's been?
I got involved with NECAN in May of 2000. A friend of mine had an injured horse, and she was telling me about the injury, and probably 6 to 8 weeks from the date of injury, the vets were wanting to put the horse down. And someone had talked to her about NECAN and convinced her to use a horse blanket. So anyway, they came over, they treated the horse. Well, they gave it a back roll, a rollout, and then put a horse blanket, which we don't sell the horse blankets anymore, on the horse. And within 24 hours, they saw a significant improvement. And I mean, the horse was walking on a leg it hadn't been walking on in like 8 weeks. So I had talked to Beth, and it had been a long time, quite some time, and I didn't realize that the horse was in such shape. But anyway, I was over at her stable, and we were just chatting, and she, I asked, I said, "Hey, how's your horse?" And she told me, and then she pulled these insoles out of her boots. And she said, "Look, because I used to help her run her stable from time to time, just for fun, go give people horseback rides." So she pulled these insoles out of her boots and said, "Those 80-pound saddles just don't feel as heavy anymore, and my back doesn't hurt, and I feel like I have more energy." And she didn't know what was going on with my husband, so I said, "Well, whoever shared that with you, please send them my way." And the guy came, and we got involved, and with the business, and I was going out and going out and going out, and one thing you never do, he did something that you never do, is quit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right before, I kept saying I would try to go silver. And, it wouldn't work out. Well, the third time I kind of figured out what I was doing a little bit, or put it this way, divine intervention helped tremendously. But anyway, we told him, I said, "Look, I'm going silver this month," and they didn't do anything. So after I went silver, they had a month to catch me, and they didn't. So they just dropped out. So
wow.
I guess that's the biggest thing I would say, is never quit. Life does throw obstacles and challenges and stuff in your way. I've been involved with NECAN since May of 2000.
And you're a gold now, correct?
I'm a gold, yeah.
Now, imagine all the income that guy bypassed on. You went silver, and then you went gold, and I know your name's been on the top 10 list for 2 years plus. So I can just imagine how much money that guy missed out on.
Well, he definitely, I feel like, missed out on an opportunity. I think the biggest thing is he gave up, or I don't know. I don't know what happened to him, but I would have. And what's so even, I just never give up. You know, I just pray and trust that God's going to help me. And then here I am. So anyway.
You're an out of the box thinker. You've been doing some things that most people don't do. Can you share with us some of the things that you've been doing to drive traffic and to get sales?
One thing that I have always done. I've got customers since back at like 2004 and 5. I've got customers from then. Mm-hmm. That I've just, they would call me and say, "Are you still in Niken?" I said, "Look, I'm a lifer. I'm never going to quit. You can always get your products from me." And they always referred people. Well, I had got the idea of, you got to stay in contact with them. That's the big thing, is stay in contact with your customers. And sometimes it's a challenge. But one of the things that I thought about doing was sending out thank you cards. And I hate that I can't show you the thank you cards, but every month I send a person a thank you card. And there's information that I'll put on there. If they've ordered, water units, if they're, I like the waterfall, I'll put a schedule on that where they know the schedule, to remind them the schedule of replacing their filters. People that order Aquapore filters from me, and that's an old unit, they get that. Every one of their thank you cards. I don't care if I've given them, 5 or 6 thank you cards, they're still going to get it because they hang on to them. I've had customers that say, would call me and say, "I can't remember my customer ID, and I don't know what I did with my card that you sent me because I put my information on that." So, you have to help them get their customer ID and passcode back. But I do thank you cards to everybody. So I've been doing that for quite some time. And another thing that I do is I have a tickler file. Do y'all know what that tickler file is?
Tell us.
Okay, this tickler file, like everybody that ordered filters this month, I'm going to put them, depending on what they order, because, our PIMAG unit, depending on the water quality, what city they're in, especially if they're new with it, I'll put them on to call them back in 3 or 4 months to remind them about their filter. One thing about this, I have to tell you this, a lot of the customers, they just as soon I call them. They don't want to do an auto ship. Esther, just call me in November. Put me in for November. Call me in June. So I got a tickler file going. So to keep up with auto ships and to keep up with people's, their filters, the replacement filters on their sports bottles, on their waterfalls or aquapores, their air units. I've got people on, now I'm really pushing our nutritionals to do that 25% off. So, I'm just calling customers. I call them. If I haven't gotten to them in a while, I'll call them and update their account.
Let's back up. Let's back up just for a second, if you don't mind. And if you don't mind me asking, are these printed? Is this something that you just pick up at the store, the cards? You're actually mailing them at the post office. Is that right?
Yes. So, I went on, let me tell you where I got my thank you cards at. You guys can go, and there's a lot of different companies out there, but I just like Vista Print. You can go to Vista Print and you can make you a thank you card. They have the postcards, and then they have the great big cards. You remember when Niken did that November the 2nd, they dramatically dropped the prices.
Right.
Well, not only did I send out an email, I just bit the bullet and I said, you know what, I'm gonna send them a postcard. So I sent them a postcard that had clearance products on. If you go check out my website, here's the clearance products. And I told them about the reduction in price. And I'm telling you, since Nikken has reduced the price of a lot of these products, I mean, I get calls a lot. I want to order this. Here, I know such and such. Please call such and such. Send such and such an email and send them information. So, I mean, that's how I get a lot of referrals, is through my customers. And then I'm still out there, you know, talking to people. That 3-foot rule. If you're 3 foot in front of me, I'm going to strike up a conversation. Now, you may think I'm weird. Oh, this is what's really good. Stand in the return line when you got to go take something back, and you feel, I've seen people do it over and over. They'll just squinch their shoulders, and you know they have the world on their shoulders. It's so tight. So you just always make sure you keep your Mag Boy or your Mag Duo in your purse. And I mean, I have just said, wow, your shoulders must be hurting you, or something like that. And they'll make a comment, and they say, and, you know, I said, I bet you feel like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. And then I'll just pull the Mag Boy out, and I'll say, look at this. This is amazing. And I'll just tell them and just start rolling it on them. I mean, it's just amazing to do that. And I'm all the time wearing products. I mean, I'm all the time carrying them in my purse. I wear them around my neck. And I mean, just the other day, I have a small little farm here, and had this little girl come out and help me do some work with my goats. And my big buck, he's like 190 pounds. He really kind of jerked my arm around. So I had, what is that thing we have? The far infrared wrap on my elbow. And I've had people go, what happened? You know, did you hurt your arm? And then I go, oh, let me tell you about this amazing product. Yeah. And then you just start telling them. So, but about your customer list online at Nikken, you can go under, you know, we have our list under business that we have our consultant reports and our customer list. I go to my new customer list, and every month, you know, I'll print that out because I want to have a copy of it. And then I just make notes on it when I start calling them. I mean, I've got a printout of all my customers since they started. I mean, I've got people since 2004 and 5 that I've printed out, and that I just keep in contact with. I might call them once a year.
So you've been in customer acquisition now over 10 years. So if you don't mind me asking, how many people are on your customer list? Do you have any idea?
Well, I would probably say 2,500 or more.
Wow.
So, and then, you know, I get people call me a lot and refer people. So that, and I'm telling you, I feel like a telemarketer almost, because man, I'm on the phone. I had a friend of mine who had surgery, and he had an accident, and he swears by Nikken products. I'm telling you why. He just thinks that they're amazing. But he had an accident, and he had to have a surgery. So he had to have someone stay with him for like 24/7 for about a week. And I'm telling you about being behind on phone calls. Now, I spent some time calling people back, just getting on my tickler file and just calling. So I do a lot of calling.
So you send out thank you cards.
Yeah, to everybody.
And you send out cards to people that are customers, just to inform them of things that are going on in Nikken. You also email people, and you call them.
Yeah.
And then you're deadly in a line at Walmart.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Or wherever I'm at. Yeah. So you just got to talk. Biggest thing is when you got to talk when you're out.
Right.
And I think a big thing for me is, you know, staying in contact with my customers. And I mean, I've got people that they're never going to go online and place an order. They're just not going to do it.
Right.
They're waiting on me to call them to let them know what's new and up, and just they won't ever go online and place an order. So I got to call them, and you know, it's just I do a lot of yakking.
What's interesting to me is, and you've probably got these calls too, is I'll get a call from someone that wants to buy a product, and they'll say, yeah, I called 4 other distributors and left them messages, and none of them called me back.
Yeah.
Or I bought a product from somebody and I never heard from them. And I tried to contact them and I didn't know how to contact them.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you ever get any of that?
Yes. Yes. And I mean, I've had people call me and say that they don't even remember where they got my number at.
Yeah.
And they just call me and they use product. Oh my goodness. My downline, I was helping her and we went to go see one of her people. And this guy had been, and it's amazing, life's divine. When she started talking about Nikken products, he was saying, have her come over. He found out about Nikken Nikken came in our country in 1989. He probably found out about Nikken around the mid 80s. And until Ashley went and started talking to him, that was the second time he'd ever heard of Nikken. So, I mean, he was exposed to it. He liked it. He got product back then and he never could find anybody else. So, and that's something.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So.
Had you ever done any network marketing before Nikken, or was it your first?
No, I don't know if y'all ever remember the company called A.L. Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They educated people on life insurance and showed them where to invest money. I did that probably 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then had life get in the way and had to get a new husband.
Oh,
really
yeah.
bad.
I hate it when that happens. Yeah.
And then I got involved with another company. I don't know if y'all ever heard this, called XL, the phone stuff. It was a company where they sold phone service.
Mm-hmm.
I was involved with that. It seemed like there was a couple of others too, just briefly. But there was nothing that made the difference like Nikken, because you are impacting somebody's quality of life when you're affecting their health. I mean, and then when you're helping them with their financial health, that is huge too. So thank God for Nikken, and I thank God that I never gave up.
Well, I know you actually had told me that a couple or 3 years ago, you had a job that you actually got to stop and got to stay home because of your Nikken income. Isn't that correct?
Yes. Yes, I did. And sometimes I feel like I want to go get another job to get me out the door, because sometimes I don't feel like I get out the door enough.
Yeah.
And I just don't know where can I get a part-time job that I can get out and go travel.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, so sometimes you just have to make yourself get out the door and go do stuff and go meet people. So
I'll never forget Jim Starnes told me that Nikken is not something you went out the door to do. You go out the door and you experience life.
Yeah.
And Nikken just happens as a result of you enjoying your life, going out and doing things and, getting in crowds and meeting new friends. And, everybody needs what we got.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They do. Everybody needs Nikken. They just don't know it yet.
That's right. Well, are any parting words of wisdom that you can share with the group here that we're coming up on the end of our call here? So
biggest thing is never quit.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge. Just never quit. Don't ever give up. Talk.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting out of my comfort zone right now.
Yeah, you didn't want to.
Sometimes I'm pretty bashful, but every day you go out the door, you got to get out there and you got to run your mouth and you got to talk and keep your products in your purse.
Yeah.
I mean, ladies, that's the best. And I wear flexes on my back, whether my back's hurting or not, just so people will see it sticking out and then go, oh, you've got something sticking out back there. Here, I've had people here, let me help you cover that up. I said, no, let me tell you what this is.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
I've done that before too. Just have it on just so I can sort of rub it on somebody and say, oh, you know, and then
Yeah,
the conversation starter.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
So,
listen, Esther, thank you so much for coming on. And I wish you great success moving forward.
thank you. Thank you. And hey, let's get my camera working.
Okay. Yeah. Well, everybody wants to see what you look like.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Gary.
All right.